All right, guys, it's time to duel. I don't know. Gypsy Rose, she's been on the internet for a while. I kind of like her. I've seen there's a lot of backlash against her. Somebody sent me this video by Harry James Miller. Never heard of him, but it's called "The Internet Can't Handle Gypsy Rose." So I'm going to assume it's about how people on the internet are upset that Gypsy Rose is a flawed person from years of not being treated particularly well by her mother. So I'm interested in it, but I don't really understand why people expect Gypsy Rose to be like this super like perfect person. I saw people criticize her because she got married to a guy, and then when it came to that guy, they were talking. I guess they were having like an interview, and he said something about her not graduating school. I think so. She squeezed his leg. And people are like, that's what her mom used to do to her. It's like, okay, yeah. Wow, who would have thought that her mom taught her a bad thing? What? So, whatever. Let's just get this started.
Hi, welcome back to my channel.
Hi.
Today we're talking about the latest person to blow up on TikTok, have beef with someone random, and have everyone asking, why is she on a red carpet? Every video, millions of views. Every post, a party in the comments.
Ooh.
Noah Cyrus, Tana Mojo, Trisha Paytas, Barbie Ferreira, Joe Exotic. Oh, never mind. Brady's got it covered. We can keep going. Good morning, America.
I saw that he's actually her brother. There's no way that he's her brother. Get out of here. What are you talking about?
Had her on.
I share my story to be a cautionary tale.
That's right.
She's kind of hot. I'm just saying.
Right. Gypsy Rose Blanchard is free. She's out on parole. I think the first and most obvious thing to say about this is the whole situation is a little weird, and I mean that for everyone. To go from prison for 8 years as part of a plea deal to TikTok darling on Good Morning America.
See, she's kind of bad, you know what I mean? I'm just saying, dude. I'm just saying. She's kind of bad. You know what I mean?
And a podcast hosted by a former bachelor from The Bachelor, not just any man who was single once, is, we'll say, a unique path in media. And I mean, it's weird for the people watching this happen, whether they were counting down the days till her release or they're upset that she's out. It has to be an incredibly exciting and stressful time for her family. But
one of those DNAs, she has a half-brother, and her half-brother and her husband have the same last name or something. Listen, I'm going to be real with you. You know, I don't care. If she married her half-brother, I wouldn't really care. It's, you know what I mean? She's had enough problems. She's had enough problems. You know what I mean? I can't, I'm not going to go after her for something like that. You know, her mom used to beat her up or whatever. What am I supposed to do? She gets a pass. She's allowed to do it. Her only, though. All right? She's the only one that's allowed to do it. She's the only one that's allowed to do it, okay, guys? That's the, those are the rules. I'll give her the pass. You know, hey, why not?
But surely it is the most bizarre for her to have everything you do when you get out of jail be seen by millions of people. She's also still on parole, and it's your first time in.
What does she have to like not do? Like kill another mom or something? Like, you know, what is it that she can't do?
The world as an adult. I imagine it's all a lot to take in. You don't get this screenshot when things are normal. If you don't know the who, the what, the why of Gypsy Rose's imprisonment, you're probably not watching this video. I'll put a link to a video that explains everything that happened, but you'll probably be able to put it together from the interview clips in this video.
Yeah, I mean, I already feel like I have
and everyone's asking her the same 4 questions.
I love in the documentary you take responsibility. You talk about, you know, you're doing the time that you were given, but he will spend the rest of his life in jail.
Yeah, I felt bad for that. I mean, my understanding is she had gotten the guy that was, well, my understanding, significantly like mentally impaired to help her. You know, not ideal, but I mean, what are you supposed to do when you're being tortured by your mom? You know what I mean? I feel like if anything, it's the mom's fault. Hopefully that guy just gets the help he needs in prison.
How do you feel about that? How do you kind of reconcile that?
Is it fair that he is incarcerated for life for killing your mom and you're out?
What has this been like for you since being released from prison?
Tell me about the day you stepped out from behind.
Bro, I wouldn't. Why are people asking Gypsy Rose all these questions? I'm just wondering when she's going to make an OnlyFans. That's it. That's all I care about. I mean, like, I'm not trying to be rude, but I'm kind of like, I'm a little hopeful. you know, I can't be the only person that's sitting here like, come on, you know, it's time already. She'll probably wait until she gets to a point where she's not doing interviews, getting asked the same 2 questions. But I mean, come on, like there's no way that nobody else is here. I feel like everybody feels the same way that I do. You know, she's, you know, there's something about her. There's something about her that just kind of tickles the fancy. It tickles your fancy. And we're all waiting for it, and everybody's like, "Wow, oh, how dare you? You feel the same way. You just wouldn't say it. You don't have the balls to say. I do. I don't care. I'm waiting for it. You know." Hot girl summer, bro. I don't even like. Here's the thing. I don't even want Gypsy Rose to have like a 10 out of 10 banging body. I just want her to I want her to look like a regular woman. You know what I mean? I'm tired of it. I don't want that anymore. I don't want lean abs. I don't want these lean abs and this and blah blah blah. Oh, dude, there's like 1,000 girls like that. Right? That's every other girl on OF. I want some stretch marks, okay? And signs of abuse. That's what I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding. But fuck it, dude. Just fuck it. Give me some gray hair. You know what I mean? Fucking goblin mode.
The prison walls.
When you think back on your mom right now, how do you feel about her? And does any part of you miss her?
I don't believe my mother was a monster. She
Maybe like a Fansly.
had a lot of
At least like a Patreon in some kind of attire, you know?
demons herself that she was struggling with. I didn't want her dead.
I'm not trying to yada 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 my way through this part. I just don't have a whole lot of jokes to make here. It's just sad. I'm not trying to make fun of an abused child, okay? Common feeding tube L. Like what? And ultimately, that's not what this video is about. One thing from the past that I do have to mention is The Act, a 2019 limited series that came out on Hulu that is based on her life.
Yo, that's scary looking, dude. What the heck? That's just terrifying.
Story. Joey King played Gypsy Rose and was nominated for an Emmy for her performance, meaning that she has more Emmy nominations than her Kissing Booth co-star Jacob Elordi.
Wow.
I'm sure it will remain that way forever. The real Gypsy Rose was not consulted in any way on the series and was not happy about it. I am unable
Yeah, I wouldn't be happy about it either. I get it.
to watch
At least talk to her. Be like, yo, what's up?
The Act. However, I feel it is very unfair and unprofessional that producers and co-producer Michelle Dean has used my actual name and story without my consent and without the life rights to do so.
That's kind of fair, right? I mean, I get it.
Therefore, there will be legal action taken against the show's creators. No legal action was taken. But
Would she be able to win that? I don't know. It's using their likeness, but I guess it's a what do you call it? Like some kind of autobiography, or would you consider it a parody? Would it be covered by parody law? I know that's a weird thing to say in parody, but that sounds like what other law would it be covered by?
it did put Joey King in Gypsy Rose's sights. She was granted parole and was released early on December 28th, 2023. Almost immediately, she was in press tour mode, going on Good Morning America and The View and That Podcast to promote her new series on Lifetime and Hulu.
Oh, she got a new
ebook,
show.
which I will get to. More importantly, now that she's out of prison, she can run her own social media pages. She didn't have internet in the Chillicothe Correctional Center. This means, of course, she is on TikTok, and that's where.
Damn, that means that she never saw me in my golden years. My chances of my chances are ruined. I'm just kidding.
The majority of the blow up has been. She's at nearly 10 million followers there, as well as a cool 8.3 million on Instagram and 18,000 on Twitter. But that's a sinking ship, don't worry about it. It's not a surprise that she blew up on TikTok. That's where Gen Z is. And once her release date was known, the countdowns began.
Is Twitter even worth anything like you doing? Like putting clips up on? Probably not, man.
Again, screenshot. People were excited. With Mommy Dead and Dearest in 2017, but especially with The Act in 2019.
Like the sister act, dude? What?
Her story gained massive popularity, and people felt a lot of things, but the most prevalent, I would say, was sympathy. It's not hard to see why so many people are hyping her up on social media, especially the girls and the gays.
I'm just happy that she's out of prison. And
Why are the girls and the gay? I mean, I guess it makes sense, but like, why are really the girls and the gays like her the most? That's interesting.
she's finally free. Waiting for
I liked her ever since she said that her husband gives her fucking fire dick. I thought that was pretty respectable.
the day, like had a countdown going. It's fascinating and it's terrifying. Oh my god, I have so many questions for Gypsy. When did you first
Why?
fall in love? What are your plans for the future?
She's a victim of severe abuse from a parent.
Yeah, I mean, I feel bad because she's going from one extreme to another. She's going from like somebody who had this horrific thing happen to her and defended herself from it, to somebody who now is like internet famous. Like she's never had or ever will have a normal life. And there's even some really disgusting people asking her when she's gonna make an OnlyFans. So I feel bad for her, dude. You know what I mean? Like, where's the normalcy? Where's the normalcy?
Who escaped those circumstances and now gets to live her life freely. In a world where abusers regularly go unchecked, hers is a story of triumph and eventual freedom. She even acknowledges this in her book. So many of you have written to me over the years. I've read every letter, even the ones that were not so nice. There were questions and concerns.
Why would you send her a letter that's like not nice, given the circumstances? Like, even if you don't like her, why would you send her a letter like, fuck you, I wish your mom continued to poison you? Like, what? You know what I mean?
And curiosities about holes in the public story, and many of the letters were little confessions of their own. Young girls reaching out after the act on Hulu aired, sharing stories of their struggles and abuse of their own. And those young people are 4 or 5 years older now, which means they are all on TikTok.
Thank you so much for the 12-month sub, Shart's wife, small guy. Clarence's mom or Dexter's mom? Honestly, I'm going to go with Clarence, man. I don't know. Crazy Clarence's mom.
So every one of her TikToks blows the fuck up. She was in New York on January 6th, and she took a video of herself in Times Square. And I'll say it, her videos are kind of boring.
Hey, what do you expect from her? Okay, what do you expect from our queen? Like, obviously they're going to be a little boring.
Hey everybody!
Hi.
So we are in Times Square. Look at this. Isn't this epic?
Queen Gypsy, come to Staten Island.
Gypsy, don't go to Staten Island. It's fucking terrible. It's a waste. It's nobody or no thing is good there. It's just a fucking cesspool. It's somehow the worst New Jersey over there. It's terrible. Don't go there.
She just got out of a prison in Ohio. Why would she go somewhere worse? Ohio? She's in Missouri. She's in Missouri because she was going to go to the Kansas City game. Because Kansas City's in Missouri. Her account was hacked, so she made a video saying, hey, don't hack my account.
That's probably helpful.
Hey y'all, so my TikTok was just hacked.
How does it get hacked though? Like, how does somebody hack a TikTok?
We have a suspicion of who it could be, but we changed the password now. I'm back in control of
Was it like your mom's fucking spirit? Like, how did that happen?
the account right now. We're working with TikTok to get the username and the profile picture back to where it was. So don't freak out just yet. I am back in control.
I wasn't.
So
shame on y'all.
Oh, baby.
What the fuck?
And it hasn't happened since, so I
Shame
guess all
on
the
y'all.
hacker really needed was a stern talking to. One thing she said in multiple interviews is she wants to use her platform for good. She wants to be an advocate for those affected by Munchausen by proxy. She wants to make sure that...
How do you figure that out, though? How do you figure out which ones? Because usually that's the problem, right? Nobody knows who Munchausen to them.
There are resources available so that children don't have to go through what she did. And that's a good thing. Unfortunately, when she posts about that, it gets significantly less reach than when she posts about herself. Her only video...
Yeah, I mean, I guess that's life, man.
...video that hasn't reached 10...
Her best bet would be to... Her best bet would just be to like keep doing her thing and keep like a link in the bio in case people wanted to donate for whatever cause she wanted.
10 million views on TikTok is the one talking about
I'm getting bad
Munchausen
rolls.
by
True that,
proxy.
man.
It's the same thing on Instagram. The pictures of her or of her and her husband get anywhere from 1 to 4 million likes. But that same video from earlier is not even at 400,000. The main difference between her TikTok and her Instagram is the comments. On TikTok, every comment is so nice. You can just scroll and everyone's like, yes, pop off. We're so happy you're
Poop
out.
off, queen.
But on Instagram, her reception has not been so positive. Bro, she killed her mother and y'all supporting it.
Absolutely, man. Fuck. Absolutely. Fuck her mother. Not like that though. Not like the guy that she got to help her wanted to. Yeah, I do. So I don't give a fuck.
SMH. Have you met Gen Z? They all hate their parents. We don't care.
Bro, how old are these people commenting this? Like fucking 45 years old?
You killed your mom. Or is this a message of support saying, we don't care you killed your mom? I'll never know.
Oh, we don't care. Oh, the comma. We don't care. You killed your mom. Or we don't care. You killed. Okay, gotcha.
I don't care to look further into a comment. She's famous now for killing her mother?
Based.
Make it make sense, y'all. Does anyone else on
Tom
planet...
C. super chatted $1.99. Vince McMahon tried to poo on me.
Well, how was he not successful, dude? Did he not give you the $3 million?
The Earth think
fuck?
this is
Sorry,
weird?
it's fucked up.
No, it's literally just you.
Yeah, I mean, I think everybody thinks it's weird. That's why people like it. You know, it's like a morbid curiosity.
This is how you use Instagram. Not gonna lie, I love it. This is just on a picture.
Okay.
Why are there 12,000 likes on this comment? It's not like this is wrong. This is how you use Instagram. It is a photo sharing social media. Or maybe this person has only ever seen Reels since Instagram started pushing those really hard.
You know how they could push those Reels really hard? Pay the creators more. It's annoying. They barely pay. They're like, the shit is paying once. Fucked up.
And this is the first static image they've ever seen on the app. They're like, oh, hell yeah. Now I can get behind this. It feels like 90% of the comments are either, yes, mama, boots, she served time and now she's serving cunt. Or,
what the fuck?
am I the only one who thinks it's weird that she was in jail and now she's famous? Is it just me?
Well, I would show you.
Isn't that like every rapper, right? They go to jail and they get more famous.
Comments showing this, but when I went to pull them, her Instagram page is gone. It no longer exists.
What is that, like temporary? Or?
I promise it wasn't lying, but she's not on Instagram anymore.
And then you read...
That can't be real.
This one. He's riding the Gypsy criminal gravy train.
I would too, bro.
She took from people who needed wheelchairs or homes fit for wheelchairs. She was playing video games online and walking around when no one was watching. She is no innocent girl. Yes, her mother deserved what she got, but this girl is becoming what her mother was, an attention-seeking, lying, and manipulating person.
Well, just to be clear, if you want to be attention-seeking, that's fine. Just don't poison your child.
We are all supposed to believe her story when she lies daily.
She lied daily.
Sorry, this is awful. And you try to put together...
I don't really understand that comment too much. I mean, listen, Gypsy Rose has a higher chance of being like her mother than anybody else. And let's just hope that that doesn't happen. Let's hope that she doesn't... Because, like, that's an unfortunate reality is that a lot of times people will repeat the patterns of their parents, which actually isn't always bad, because if your parents have good patterns, it's good for you. So, yeah... Let's hope she don't do that. But that she's just gonna need like a robust support structure, you know? I would hate to see her fucking want to harm her kid if she even has one.
Together like the worldview of this person, you're like, okay, so the murder was good. Being told you need a wheelchair and then using a wheelchair, that's bad. She is no innocent girl, yeah.
Was she giving her shit because her mom had her use a wheelchair when she shouldn't have needed it? I don't get it.
That's why she went to jail for 8 years and is on parole right now. I would be remiss if we were talking about Gypsy Rose Blanchard on Instagram and I didn't
exactly. People are just jealous of her beauty and success. I agree.
Mention the D is fire. While she was in prison,
I wish my wife would talk about my D like this, honestly. And like, I know I throw good game too. It's not like I'm bad in bed. I know I'm good. I know I do a good job. My wife is brutally honest with me about everything. She wouldn't lie to me about that. My wife wouldn't tolerate bad D. She wouldn't tolerate water D. You know what I mean? So I'm wondering why my wife doesn't gas my dick up. Tell people. Tell everybody you know. You know? Make me feel good about myself.
She married someone, this man, Ryan Anderson.
Ryan
and
Gosling.
Because she has been thrust into the public eye and spotlight, so has he. And people in the comments have had all sorts of things to say about him. They're calling him attention-seeking. They're calling him ugly. So to show him...
That's it? Attention-seeking and ugly? Okay.
How much she cares, she left this comment. Ryan...
I don't have friends. What are you talking about? You don't have friends. We're literally about to drive to a fucking another state to hang out with one of your friends. Yes, you do.
Don't listen to the haters. I love you and you love me. We do not owe anyone anything.
True.
Our family is who matters. If you get likes and good comments, great. If you get hate, then whatever, because they don't matter. I love you. Besides, they jealous because you are rocking my world every night. Yeah, I said it. The D is fire.
Incredible.
Happy wife, happy life. Just for context, the post that Ryan made has 92,000 likes. The comment that Gypsy Rose left has 411,000 likes.
Damn, must have went up by 7,000 as this guy was making the video.
And 14,000 replies. As part of her press tour, she went on a podcast, and before the podcast was released, they did a little teaser trailer that they put on TikTok.
Going up.
Bro, it's the skirt. I think it's the skirt, whatever she...
Why are they both in elevators that are clearly not in the same place?
Gypsy Rose Blanchard. Gypsy Rose Blanchard. Gypsy Rose Blanchard.
She's been in prison. Oh my god, I have so many questions for Gypsy. When did you first fall in love?
Gypsy, do it fart? Gypsy, do it fart? Yo, wait, what the fuck? Wait, you could just tell the stream about how good my wiener is, babe. What the fuck? You lied.
What are your plans for the
Just make our just use our other TikTok channel and just talk about me all the time and how amazing I am. That's all you need to do.
future? Why she did what she did?
Gypsy Rose Blanchard, all
Blanchard.
style.
Gypsy Rose Blanchard celebrating her release from prison.
What's blanched mean? Don't you blanch some food, you know?
There's something so fitting about that evil death bung bell sound.
Bung bell.
When the word podcast appears on the screen. And all of the comments are like, we don't care about the Vile Files. Go on Trisha's podcast.
Did you do that?
Like, I can't.
I mean, that would be kind of like that would be interesting. Trisha, I feel like has the energy of Gypsy Rose, you know? To some extent, she is also Gypsy Rose, but in like a different world. I mean, Trisha's like everybody. She's quite literally every woman.
And not overstate how many of these comments are like, go on Trisha's podcast. There's so much preface to this that's not involved with Gypsy Rose at all.
Gypsy
It starts
Rouge.
with an ad for another podcast entirely. That's
Why?
it's not an ad that played before the podcast. It's an ad that's part of the video.
This podcast is for single people. Also, if you're married. Also, if you're a zoo animal.
Dating, married, single, thinking about dating.
Married and thinking about dating.
Whoa.
It's like an annoying ad.
I don't know about that,
Whoa,
but
whoa.
this podcast is for everyone.
And once the ad for another podcast is done, we go straight into the ad portion of this podcast. The ad portion is done, and we can
Wow, they're really milking it, huh?
finally start talking about...
I think Trisha's hot. She's okay. She's all right. You know, I hate to say it, but I've seen her shirtless, and it's like her nipples aren't. I don't like her nipple placement. It might just be a personal preference, but I don't like her nipple placement. So that's my problem.
About the podcast. We're still not in the podcast yet. This is all preamble. They talk about some dude caught up in a pregnancy scandal coming alive.
For those of you who don't know who Clayton Eckhart is, he was a former bachelor a couple years ago and recently has been in the midst of a paternity scandal. We let Clayton come.
no.
Clayton
He
is with
come?
us for 2 full hours on Thursday. He
What?
comes.
Yeah, I'm sure he did. That's how he got in the scandal in the first place.
It is a bizarre, fascinating story, riddled with cum.
We gotta wait
I like this guy. This YouTuber, to be honest with you.
until we're 7.5 minutes in before the podcast begins in earnest. I just feel like when you know an
Get that
episode
money,
is
baby.
gonna do well and you're gonna get a lot of new people to the podcast.
First of all,
You're probably better. You probably like. I understand. Like, hey, I want to make money on this, which makes perfect sense. But yeah, I mean, you want to. If you're gonna have a bunch of people watching just because or listening just because they like Gypsy. But if you're gonna sit there and do that many ads, it's gonna be annoying. So people are gonna be less likely to join another time. You're better off maybe not going so hard in on it.
I just want to like say welcome to, I'm assuming, a lot of new people tuning into our show, obviously to hear Gypsy and Ryan.
The goal is to get them the thing they want as quickly as possible so that they stick around. You don't need all this preamble, but this is like an hour-and-a-half long podcast. You can ask way more in depth and
Thank you so much for the 14-month small gut. This is one of the videos ever. Incredible.
Deeper and a greater variety of questions than you can on the 6 to 7 minute interviews she's doing on television.
I think the world is fascinated by like, what are you watching? What do you What do you want to eat? Like, you know, like
Yeah.
You want to eat
what
poop?
are the things
You want to eat my poop, Gypsy?
that you're being gravitated to?
The first TV show I watched was Obi-Wan Kenobi because I'm a huge Star Wars fan.
I'm so sorry.
What did you think about it? Was it good, or did you think it sucked? I was kind of disappointed.
Sorry. I mean, I guess it makes sense to start with the worst Star Wars show. You can only go up from here. She does really get into why people support her, and I think that's really important.
I had a conversation with my stepmom, and she was like, you know, sweetie, people are sympathetic to you, and they're praising you not because of what you did, the crime. They are praising you, and they're
No, I'm praising you for the crime. I think it's badass. I don't care. I'm just kidding. That's so insensitive.
they give you so much support because you survived it.
It's good both for her mental health and for her
True
audience's
that.
sake that she understands why her story captivated people and why people have sympathy for her.
You started this conversation, you were referring to other interviews, and that one interviewer just calling you a murderer.
Yes.
Damn, she had an interview just calling her a murderer? Why? What the hell?
Do you feel that way about yourself?
I don't associate myself as a murderer because if
Do you guys think that, like, this whole situation is just another example of Gypsy Rose kind of being insane? Like, I don't mean to be rude, but I don't think that if I killed my mommy, I don't think I would be able to do a press tour. I think I would be a little too depressed to do a press tour, you know? I wonder...
Rending
You
Ray
think
Pierce
about-
super chatted $5. First time catching the stream thinking about Trisha's nipple placement.
Incredible.
Also Taco Bell or McDonald's for lunch?
That's a good question, brother. You know, I'm gonna go with McDonald's. I'm gonna go Taco Bell. I'm going with Taco Bell, brother. Go with the Taco Bell.
I had a part to play in it, he was saying that he would protect me from anyone. I said anyone. He said yes. I said even my mother. He said yes. And then
I'm gonna upgrade my computer eventually, dude. I'm gonna get a new computer soon. I just gotta do my downstairs basement. All right, you can suck it up for now. All right, we're here to listen, not to watch this screen.
plan kind of
Nerd.
formed from there, but he's the one that did the actual kill, not me. I can't kill anyone. That's why he's in trouble to begin with, because he's the one that did it. So when they say I'm a murderer, I don't identify as that.
I mean, thank goodness this interview came out after she left prison, right? There's no double jeopardy. She literally says in her own book, every time an interview request comes in or someone asks me for my autograph, I say to myself, you're a murderer. No high horse here. That stays at the forefront of my mind. It's a good thing she's out. The first 40 minutes, it's just her, and they talk about her and where she's at mentally and sort of how it's been coming out of prison.
What?
Prison is a world in itself, and so it was hard leaving my friends behind because I have some friends that have some very lengthy sentences.
Mm-hmm. Pretty standard stuff. One
I never thought about that. She probably made friends in prison. That's fucking crazy. And people that are actually crazy too. Well, I mean, I don't want to use the word crazy, but I did. I feel like Gypsy's got something going on here, man. I don't know. I think that's why that's part of the allure. Is that she's fucking crazy. She's out of her goddamn mind. There's something attractive about that, you know?
Once her man comes onto the podcast, things really start to let loose.
So about 6 months before I got out of prison, Ryan and I were looking at fun things to do in Kansas City.
Absolutely.
And so he saw that there was going to be a Chiefs-Bengals game, and
Bengals? What the fuck is that?
he's a Bengals fan. He's a Joe Burrow fan. So we bought our tickets,
Okay.
and then 3 months or so later, I find out that Taylor Swift is dating Travis Kelce. And so I'm like, that would be so cool.
What a crossover, Taylor Swift and Gypsy Rose. And why don't we have AI stuff of Gypsy Rose? What the fuck are we doing just Taylor Swift for?
If she was at the game and I got to meet her.
Just happened to run into her.
Yeah,
Bro, the
you're in
stockings are crazy.
line
They're killing me.
buying a couple of hot dogs and a beer,
fucking
and
around.
who's this right in front of me? Oh, it's Taylor Swift.
Oh
Oh,
my
just
God.
standing
You know, Taylor Swift had to have wanted that appearance to happen. You know,
around by herself. No one's noticing her.
What would happen if you just called Taylor up
and asked if she wanted to hang out at the Chiefs game?
And then TMZ got a hold of the story.
yeah, they got a hold of it. I'm sure that they orchestrated the meeting and then told TMZ and like sold it to them. Be like, oh, we're gonna sell something to you. We'll sell because you can make money doing that. We're gonna sell you this story. We're gonna go. Oh, this is gonna happen. Oh wow, what the fuck? That's crazy.
But also TMZ, not to, say anything bad about TMZ.
Taylor turned that man into her wife, dude. He's been getting so many different like benefits out of it. No,
No, that's okay. You can say things bad about TMZ. I don't remember if that was like taboo 8 years ago, but now you can say TMZ fucking sucks and they're a bunch of pieces of shit. That's okay.
The comments were like, oh my God, Taylor Swift is in danger. This murderer is going to come after her. And it became this
got
big
blown
thing.
way out of proportion.
It got blown out of proportion. I'm not a stalker.
So you weren't in any way trying to do like a
oh, so you weren't trying to kill her?
Force me.
So let me just get this clear, just so it's on the record. You don't want to murder Taylor Swift?
No, not at all. Not at all. I was just like, that would have been cool if we would have ran into
It would have been cool if I killed her.
Then she talks
with a knife
about her ex-fiance Ken, not the Academy Award nominated one. This one is truly just Ken.
The day that I got out of prison, Ken texted my stepmom and was like, hey, what's up?
Is Ken the one that was crazy? That helped her kill her mom?
And she told me about it, and I'm like, oh, so now he wants to come around. And so I told Ryan about it. I was open, and I'm like, he's sniffing around. I feel like, if he's sniffing around to try and like break me and Ryan up, or see if I will leave Ryan to get back with him. This is how I feel about it. If you're not going to be there at my worst, you do not deserve me at my best.
Oh my God, where could she have possibly come up with this? Bro, not for nothing. I'm not even trying to be rude. Listening to Gypsy Rose talk is making me just not like her anymore. It's like fucking don't meet your heroes. It's like, okay, we get it. You killed your mom, dude. Do something cool.
Yes.
I mean,
do a flip.
I know you were in prison, but it feels like maybe there was some other time when you were at your worst. I don't know. Again, I don't
even know what he's referring to, brother.
know your life. I'm just saying.
He still has my stuff.
He has
Like he
stuff
has
of
stuff
hers
of
that he,
mine,
like,
old
holds.
pictures and stuff that I sent
What, you fucking do a tribute to them?
to him. And so I've asked him to just ship my stuff to my stepmom, and then I can get it from her. And he's like,
Yeah.
no, I still have all that stuff, but like, you can
get it.
You can come get it.
Smart guy, smart plan.
Like he's holding
I'm like,
her stuff
no.
hostage, and I just think he's a dumb
Does he know that the D is fire though from this guy?
motherfucker.
I like to imagine her ex in a "You Are Knuff" hoodie watching this episode.
Hey, am I wearing the right hat? Oh yeah, I am. Look at that. I'm Knuff. I like it. I don't like it's the Knuff sounds weird though. I wish it would have been something else.
So going, hey buddy.
Yeah, you killed your mom, but what have you done to entertain me lately? Like, what the hell are you doing?
It's gonna be all right. It's gonna be okay. They talk so much about therapy in this episode.
You've talked about the importance of therapy.
Therapy,
Therapy, couples therapy.
Yeah.
Therapy.
And therapy,
Couples therapy.
What about thrupples therapy?
Couples therapy.
couples therapy, couples therapy.
Therapy. Couples therapy. Couples therapy. Therapy.
Oh, absolutely.
And how it's been good
Oh, yeah.
for Gypsy Rose.
Oh, yeah,
How it's
absolutely.
been good for Mr. and Mrs. Vile File. And how
What
important
the hell's a vial file?
it is overall. And to do all that
I don't know what that means, brother.
and have your podcast sponsored by BetterHelp.
This episode is brought to you by BetterHelp.
Is that the therapy that you're doing? I hope it's not. Oh, and then after that you have a DraftKings sponsorship? Oh, hell yeah. These guys rock.
Oh, fuck.
I think to me, life is about choices.
Wow. Life is about choices, huh? That's fucking profound as hell.
A fan of Prince Pete Davidson. They take a call from a viewer. It's a segment on the show. And this woman is describing her husband as the horniest man on the planet.
I'm 35 and I'm scared I cannot keep up with my husband's sex drive.
Why? Why is that the question that you're asking, Gypsy Rose? Because she made an offhanded comment about her husband's wiener?
Within the last 2 months, it's been like a complete 180 in regards to his initiating sex, his wanting sex, basically his sex drive, right?
Here's my thing. One, why are you asking Gypsy Rose about your sex life? Two, my thing is that like I have a pretty high one too, but I feel like everybody, man or woman, will hit their limit if you exhaust them. So you just really get into it, man. Go fuck him up. Like really drain his balls. Do something hot. Give him a powerful finishing move.
That wanting it every single day almost, and he's been wanting to go again after he finishes. And
yeah, so you're not doing enough for him. Like I just don't understand. That's how I feel. Give him a goon sesh, tie him up a little bit, fucking tickle his balls. Edge him off a little bit, tease him. Stroke his dick while he sucks on your nipples. Like get some fucking crazy weird shit going on. Like, do something dirty, man. Fuck him. Just be a nasty fucking slut for your husband. Just really fuck him up. Just ruin the guy's life. What are you doing?
This is completely different than the way it used to be. When I talked to him about it and asked him, like, what's going on, like, why the sudden change, he expressed it to me that even, like, masturbating isn't doing it for him anymore. Like he just needs the vagina.
They actually get into the weeds a little and what emotional cheating actually means. Cole,
was there like a moment where he met someone and like was doing,
or maybe he started going to the gym? I get a little horny when I do that.
Some like kind of
why don't you pick your lemonade out, dude? What are you talking about? I don't know. Listen, get crazy with your fucking man, dude. Do something fun and spontaneous, like I did yesterday. Yesterday, we were supposed to be cleaning the basement. The both of us were kind of dirty. And my wife, she was on the floor. She was sitting down. Me too. We're trying to clean the floor. Just like scrub some paint off the floor. And, she's like, oh, can you just brush my butt off? I'm going to go out and go shopping. So I started brushing it off and then I started rubbing it. I started, getting some of the dirt, but then I started rubbing it. You know what I mean? And I'm not going to be too explicit, but we went, it moved, it escalated from there. We had a nice little spontaneous, intimate engagement. It was pretty good. Did a lot of foreplay. That's what you got to do, man. You gotta goon it up.
Emotional cheating,
right? Yeah. There's a woman he worked with. This happened after we had our first child.
Oh shit.
So we were in a weird place as it was because that first year having a kid. It's like crazy.
Yo, shut up.
So
some people want to hear it, dude. Some people like living through me.
We're in a weird place. There was a woman at his
I know some of the women want to hear it.
Job who made it very clear that she was interested.
No, my wife isn't in the chat. Dude, I know that people want to hear it. Here, I'll do a poll to see who wants to hear it.
And he left the door wide open, did not shut it down.
But like every other relationship podcast, the final piece of advice is just talk to your partner.
Either way, it just comes down to you communicating with him. And it's
yes, it does come down to communicating with him, but that doesn't mean that you're going to get honest communication. It's easy to be like, hey, communicate with your partner, like obviously, but the way that you communicate can be very difficult, or the honesty in that communication can be very difficult. So
it's really important that you share the things that you worry about and the things that bother you, and how he responds.
Bro, I'm surprised so far. There's like a third of the people actually want to hear it. That's a lot more than I expected.
That matters.
And I'm not trying to like rag on these guys. 9 times out of 10, that is the solution to problems in a relationship. And still, it's so hard to do just as people. It's so hard to tell people how you feel, but it's always like the secret solution. We get a few more plugs and then the podcast is over, leaving us with one more thing to discuss: her book. This is not it. This is about 3 times as long as her book is. And she wrote an ebook. It's only available online. But this felt like a better representation than if I went, we got to talk about her book. It's a quick read. It's 120 pages, but there are...
Is that a lot? I don't read. I'm not gay, so I don't really know if that's a lot. You know what I mean?
a lot of line breaks. The ebook isn't just a product in and of itself. It also serves as promo for her memoir, which is coming out at some point this year. The book is made up mostly of phone calls between Gypsy Rose and the other co-authors, but there are pictures and drawings and some little paragraphs that act like asides to help supplement the conversations that are being had. This is my favorite picture just because the hand is labeled "my hand." You didn't
That is a good picture.
have to do that. Have some confidence. I know people say hands are tough to draw. You knocked it out of the park. You didn't need to label it. I'll be honest. I thought the first 3 chapters were pretty boring. She talks about trust and family and God, and if it
Wow, what is she, Vin Diesel?
weren't for this video, I would have stopped reading. Midway through chapter 3, she talks about practicing Wicca, and I was much more interested than I was before. She starts having nightmares where she's dreaming, and then she wakes up from the dream, still in the nightmare. It's very Inception.
Very interesting.
Except I don't know if Inception had demons. I had a nightmare that I was asleep, lying on my back in my bunk in the dark, and I felt something on my chest. In the nightmare,
Oh shit, it was Vince McMahon pooping on her.
I woke up to a dark figure tearing open my chest and eating my heart. When I
Damn.
woke up from the nightmare, I was in the same position I had been in the dream. I felt paralyzed and frightened with the lights off. When I closed my eyes, the scene from the nightmare reappeared in my awake state. The demon was there. When I opened my eyes,
Ooh, a little sleep
it
paralysis.
would disappear. And then from there, she turned to Christianity, and everything's cool now. There's no more demons in her life. Literal demons, I guess. She was born a Catholic and
Well, now she's apparently a semen demon, so.
baptized 7 times, which would be a funny loophole to doing your 7 sacraments. Just if there's something you don't want to do, have an old guy dump some water on your head and you'll be good to go. That's chapter 3. Chapter 4 starts with an absolute banger of a quote. Am I even an actual person, or am I just a character?
Am I just a character? You know, like that?
Me, musing on my tablet from the Chillicothe Correctional Center. Call me Link the way I'm musing at my tablet. I didn't dream of things like going on American Idol or landing a big feature role playing another person like Joey King did. She had to get at least one good jab in, right? Nothing too mean, just a little sand in the eyes. I'm gonna bet that if she does write another book after her memoir, it will be a romance novel. There are some parts of her writing that
Yeah,
just
maybe it'll be something kinky and sweet, you know? Like a 50 Shades of Grey. That'd be interesting.
feel so book talk. I have never been passionately or tenderly made love to before, but I am reassured that you are the kind of man who will take his time on me. The more he praised me
Whoa, that's cute. I like
for
that.
a good job after sucking
getting a little
the dildo
saucy.
he ordered from Japan,
What the fuck? All right, that's a little too much for me. I could never do something like that.
the more I believed
too
he
gay.
loved me. Tell me that's not from the book where the dedication reads, leans in to whisper in your ear, aren't you such a good girl? Go on and read this book
Aren't you such a sussy baka?
with your legs wide open for me. My biggest takeaway from the book was, wow, even the phone calls from prison fucking suck. Because the book is largely transcripts of
Well, I mean, what could they possibly talk about in the book?
phone calls that she made while she was in prison, there are these constant reminders from the prison phone system. You've only got this much time left. This phone
Wait, what? Why did they add that into the book? That just seems bizarre to me. What the fuck?
call is being monitored. You're being recorded. They are everywhere in this book. The fact that somebody selling a book and working on a second and selling a miniseries can't always afford to make phone calls, and the fact that phone calls cost 5 cents a minute, and you're working the job in prison where in many prisons, they're not even required to pay you minimum wage. She also says in her book that she did not qualify for therapy in prison, that the penal system deemed her too well. It's so
What does that mean? Will they do like a psychological evaluation? That's almost concerning, that how well she deals with this stuff. That's like one of the bizarre things.
bleak. And the fact that we incarcerate so many people, she even says she was in prison, not in jail. And there's a difference there. The end of the book really falls apart. And I mean after the acknowledgments. Because of the way the book is formatted, Melissa Moore's photo goes under Gypsy Rose's author bio. The book ends with a link to
That's a little weird.
sign up for the Gypsy Rose newsletter, and the link does not work. It's an ebook.
Incredible.
It's been out for almost a month. They could edit it. How else am I going to get news and updates? She got caught in the crossfire of beef between her and Natalie Nunn. Except she did
The one without the chin? What is that? Or with too much chin?
not at all. Someone made fake screenshots of the two of them beefing, and Gypsy apologized to Natalie for it.
So she apologized for somebody else making the thing? What?
Not realizing that the Natalie in the screenshots was also fictional. Unless this is a second set of fake screenshots, but I saw these on Natalie's story, so I've gotta believe they're real. I said it at the top, but I'll say it again. This whole situation is just weird. She's getting a heaping helping of what the internet has to offer with absolutely zero ramp up. It's all the love and all the hate, and she's already seen a large portion of her audience turn on her, and she's been on social media for less than a month. It makes sense that she has slowed way down on posting. She is speed running internet stardom, and I would not wish that on anyone.
Yeah, I mean, well, maybe I would imagine that she has some kind of a manager. She would be smart too. So I wonder if they told her that she should pump out a lot. You know? Like, hey, put out a lot of content here. People really want to see you, and they'll get a little sick of you, and then we'll calm down a little bit. And then you pump out some more.
I have a fraction of a snippet of a tickle of the following she has. And I get nervous whenever a video of mine is better than a 6 out of 10. It's probably very, very exciting and incredibly nerve-wracking, and beyond all the people in the comments, there are probably a ton of online professionals going, hey, you should do this sponsorship. You should take an ad with them. You should start a podcast. You should do this.
Start a podcast, Gypsy. It would be a terrible idea. Too much of her. It'll be too much, you know?
Did you know that it could...
It's like watching 3 episodes of Tim and Eric Awesome Show. Great job. It's funny. The first one's really funny, but by the third one, it's just too much. It's just too brain rot.
All go away tomorrow. Tomorrow, every single person who cared about you online. What if you started a all go away tomorrow? Some other platform could go away tomorrow. Right now, you should make money. She's never gonna
come on my podcast.
She didn't have one.
Come on my podcast.
And then she went to prison where she didn't have one. And now she's out and instantly a TikTok sensation. And that's not a normal life either. I hope she continues to take days or maybe even weeks away from posting. It just can't be good for anyone to have this much attention on you at all times. And it will die down. Okay. Surely with the type of videos she's posting, which are similar to the first 3 chapters of her book, the hype will go away and eventually things will settle. But until then, I hope she does try to find some normalcy in this very, very bizarre moment. Her story also serves as a good reminder that there are rarely perfect victims. I'm hesitant to even call it her story because it's not a true crime story. It's the real lives of multiple real people. It's really easy to armchair.
I mean, it's hard to be a good person when you get like you just get fucked. You know, you're gonna have responses to that.
Quarterback and say, hey, she should have done this, she shouldn't have done that. But she lived a life almost entirely outside of reality. For the time when people are developing their social skills and their sense of self. She got a 2nd grade education before she went to prison. I am by no means an expert on the case, but the more I learned about it, the more that I wanted to hear Benoit Blanc talk about it. I was absolutely vexed by this moral quandary. See, it doesn't sound the same if I'm not doing the voice, and I'm not going to do the voice. It's like
you made 2 more videos. Wow.
When millennial YouTubers are like, I got to do an Australian accent here. You don't have to.
Hi, everyone.
It's okay if you don't. She's clearly a victim, but she's also clearly a perpetrator. She went to jail for 8 years for a reason. And now that she's finally out, she gets to tell her story from her point of view, which is something I think all of us would like the dignity of. Thanks so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did and you wouldn't mind leaving a like or subscribing, I'd really appreciate that. I've started streaming on Twitch again very inconsistently. If you missed the streams or if you want to go back and watch them, there's a gaming channel now, Harry Games Mill.
Whoa! Should I do Papa Games Gut? I don't know.
I'll leave a link in the description.
I don't know, dude. I don't know.
Yes, I did film parts of this video on a different day. I just put this sweater in the laundry because I'm a big boy and I can do that. Again, thank you very much for watching. It does mean a lot to me. And hopefully I'll see you in the next one. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.